Anthony Hartwig, we're here with a Howland softball player profile. I'm joined by Brooke Tatar, their ace in this circle. Brooke, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. So, Brooke, when you think about, what it's like to go from, obviously you stepped on the scene last year as a freshman and you kind of lit the world on fire and you let everyone know exactly who you were and exactly what you were about. So now you come into a sophomore year, everyone knows about you. There's a little bit more tape on you. How have you been able to maintain your success this year in the circle?
Definitely just I really practice hard on the off season, just hitting my spots and just being confident to know that my team coaches are behind my back.
We see a lot of teams that maybe have one pitcher or they rely on one arm, but Howland, you got two. You have Alexia Spengler right behind your back that can either help you when you're not hitting your spots or take some starts away from you and really help you manage your innings. What's that been like to know that even though when you're in the circle, it's on you, but you can be outside of the circle and still have a teammate that has your back in the circle as well?
Lexi's just an awesome teammate. Even if like I'm like on third and she's pitching, we just support each other on and off the field and we just have a great bond and I'm just really proud of her and it's just a great feeling to have. It's just somebody you can also rely on too if I'm not having a great day.
One of the things you quickly notice about this Howland softball team is it's not just you and Lexi with a great bond. This whole team is just really a strong unit. I've been able to be right next to your dugout broadcasting games. I get to hear you guys talk to each other. What's it been like to build a relationship with these teammates and these players the last 2 years at Howland?
On and off the field, we just bonding. I have great relationships with all of my teammates, and we just keep the high intensity going throughout the game. And we just all have a great bond, and we just keep a positive energy on and off the field. Even if things, we just try to keep it positive and just try to have a good time.
Relationships like that don't go overnight. I mean, it takes time to build that kind of trust and to build that kind of bond and chemistry. What kind of things does this team do off the field to try to build those team chemistry moments and to try to build as strong a relationship as you can with your teammates?
Definitely like if we have a win at home, we either go like to Katie's Corners or like Mizu. We also do like a scavenger hunt, like every sports team at Howland does it. We just do like tasks all around Howland, and then when the group like wins, we have bragging rights, and it's just a fun experience all the way around.
Take us through a typical scavenger hunt. What kind of things do you have to find? What kind of things do you have to do around Howland to check off that list? What have been some of the things that have been on the scavenger hunt?
We have to so at the end we have to like do like a task to like our for our coaches and like this year we had to do like sticky notes and then we all had to like to come up with like money just to buy all the sticky notes. It was just like a fun experience because like Paula Friend is our game changer guy and Coach Waite's house. It was just combined all together and it's just an awesome time.
Coach Waite is in her fourth year as head coach, so you've had her for both years so far. Talk about the coaching staff and what they've helped you with, and what it's been like to be under Coach Waite and her assistants, and what makes them so special and what they bring to this program.
Coach Wei is just an awesome person. What I love about her most is she just cares about us off the field. Academically, she's really hard on us, but I just love her intensity she brings on to us and that she really does care for us. And all around, like our coaches are just awesome. I love working with them.
One of the things I've also been able to notice about watching Coach Wade after games and some of the post game, talks that she has with you guys, the standard she holds to you guys is really high. Some coaches might be happy with a 9-0 win, but she always finds stuff that maybe you didn't do right or maybe you need to improve on. What's that like having a coach that is always trying to push you guys to the next level and always trying to raise the bar for you?
I love it because, every team has something to work on, positive or negative, and I just it's just an awesome feeling to know like she really does care about like our performance and she wants us to get better.
Talking about teams having stuff to work on. What about you? I mean, you had such a good freshman season, such a successful year. What kind of things did you try to focus on in the off season to get better at before you started this year?
I would say my confidence year, I didn't really know anybody but Alyssa Masucci at the time, but I felt like during my sophomore year, I created like bonds on and off the field, and I also I change up a lot, and I relied on the pitch a lot, and I just feel really confident, and that's it.
You tell me you had the success you had without confidence, and now you have all the confidence in the world. That's a dangerous combination. What
Yeah.
kind of things gave you that confidence? I mean, obviously, you find it in yourself, but what other things from the outside were able to help you build that confidence in yourself this year?
Definitely my mom and dad, they always push me and I'm just very grateful to have them. And just knowing that like everybody, like my friends, family, people that are also like Howland staff, they all come like to support us. And my pitching coach always comes as well and my hitting coach as well. And just an awesome feeling.
How long have you been pitching? When did you start, putting yourself in the circle and working on the pitches you throw?
I started when I was like 9 or 10 years old.
What was some of the things that made you kind of fall in love with it and obviously stick with pitching and make yourself want to be the pitcher that you are today?
Growing up, I really looked up to Kelly Barnhill. She's just an awesome like pitcher on and off the field, and we just have like the same windup. And she also grunts, and I do as well. So I have that in common with her.
Obviously, Barnhill was a fireballer. I mean, she could throw in the 70s. When you see a pitcher like that, and you look up to a pitcher like that, and all the other pitchers that are in the national stage, what's it like to grow up and watch them and try to emulate them and try to see what they do and try to find yourself in their pitching motion?
Definitely, if something's not working for me, I definitely just see what works for them and see if I can try it. And it just really pushes me to be like I can be like that someday.
As you've developed in your pitching motion and you've developed your pitches, are there any ones in the national stage that you think like, hey, I really start to look like her, or really start to, model my game after that pitcher or this pitcher?
I would say, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, since you've developed a little bit as a pitcher and now you have so many good pitches, are there any pitchers, whether you watch them as a kid or you watch them now, that you watch and you think, man, I can really start to compare myself to that pitcher, and I can really start to, see that I'm doing a lot of the things that they're doing, and their pitching motion looks like mine, and those kind of comparisons. Anyone that come to mind with that?
I would say Hill again or Montana Fouts.
Those are good, great comparisons. Let's talk about your mindset in the batter's box too, because you obviously hit for this team and you hit very well. What's it like going from a pitcher's mindset to a hitter's mindset during a game?
It's definitely like awesome because if I have like a 2-1, I can expect the pitch that is coming, and it just helps a lot with my mentality.
How much does being a pitcher help you in the box and knowing kind of how pitchers think and how they might attack you if you were in the circle? How much does that help you while you're in the batter's box?
It definitely helps me a lot, just getting like a step ahead, and um, if they throw me a screw, I'll be like, okay, then they're probably gonna throw me outside or high.
And you've obviously worked with so many pitches and you've gotten so many now. What's your favorite pitch to throw? What's that go to? Like, I need a strike. I'm going to go to it. I have the most confidence in this pitch.
I would say my backdoor curve or my changeup. I've worked on my changeup like in the off season, and I feel really confident throwing that, even at a 3-2 count, or even my backdoor curve because I also worked on that, but it also throws batters off because it looks like it's gonna hit them, but it goes outside.
What was the hardest pitch to kind of develop and get to where it's at now in your arsenal?
I would have to either go with my drop, trying like to stay down more on the pitch, or my rise ball, not trying to like um, extend my stride.
What pitch is next? I mean, is there anything that you're looking at that you're trying to work on, or you're trying to, get into the lab and try to develop this kind of pitch? Is there something that you're trying to work on for the rest of your career?
I have all my pitches down, but I have some things to work on with technique. But my coach, pitching coach, has really helped me with that. And I would say my drop ball I would have to work on, but it's getting better.
Shout out your pitching coach. I mean, who do you go to? Who's helped you develop all the pitches that you do have?
Coach Ed Beavers, he's just down the road. I love him so much. on and off the field, he just helped me be like a better like teammate in person. He's just awesome.
What do you think is the biggest form of advice he's given you as a pitcher while you're in the circle that you can always kind of go back on when maybe things aren't going the way you want them to?
Always give 100%. Um, and because there's somebody out there pitching harder and wants to take your spot.
One of the things that I like asking pitchers, because obviously you play travel too, so you have a number of coaches that call pitches for you. What's that relationship like to build the trust with whoever's calling your pitches, to know that they know what they're doing and know that they know you? And what's that been like for you to kind of build that dynamic with the coaches that call your pitches during the game?
It's definitely awesome to know like I have a good bond with my coaches. Definitely my pitching coach Haley and Coach Chad at Outlaws, but we just have a good bond on and off the field to know like what to throw at that time, and they know my strengths and weaknesses, so that also helps as well.
The thing we have to ask you is to bond with a catcher. Obviously, your battery is so important. You have a pretty good one back there in the backstop. What's it been like to build trust in a relationship with your catcher?
I love Kayla. She's just an awesome person. Like life takes her, but she is just a hard worker, and I am as well. And we just match each other's energy. And if something's not working, she just tries to like go out to the side, be like, "Hey, Brooke, what do you want to throw next?" Or she just calls timeout just to calm me down.
People don't understand like how much extra work goes into building that relationship with the catcher, in the bullpen, things like that, just trying to work with her. How much time do you think you and Kayla have put in to really build that bond that you have now?
I would say a lot of work, even in like warm ups. She also comes to like my pitching practice with Ed, and so it's just awesome to see that we just created the bond the past 2 years, and we definitely came a long way from freshman to sophomore year, and just very proud of that.
All right, so let's talk about, some superstitions that you might have. Pitchers are always given that stigma of being a little bit mental. Do you have any superstitions that you bring into the circle?
I I always have to like clean up like the mound a little bit. I always have to fill in like the little holes. You can't like pitch when somebody's like toe drag is there. I always have to do that. And I also have to have my rosin bag as well.
That must drive you crazy. Like that's easier to do when you're starting, but when you come in off in relief, you really have to clean up that circle a lot.
Yes.
um, when you think of that mindset, talking about coming in relief, these are two pitchers that you have on this team. You're either starting or you're obviously on call if you're not starting. What's that mindset like to be able to say, okay, we're in the fourth inning, the bases are loaded, and I have to come in, I have to get a couple outs. What's that been like for you?
Definitely just try to be like comfortable, and I am comfortable with my teammates, and I just have to trust them, and just having a positive mindset to know that we are going to get out of this inning and we're going to get runs.
Let's get to know you a little bit outside of softball before we let you go. First question is, what are some things that you like to do outside of the sport? Obviously, you spend so much time with softball, you work so hard at it, but you got to have those escapes a little bit to save off wearing yourself down. So, what are some things that you like to do outside of the sport?
I love hanging out with family and friends, cooking. I enjoy just listening to music, and I also got my license as well, so I'll definitely be in the car a lot as well.
You brought up cooking. What are some of your favorite dishes to get in the kitchen and cook?
Either me and my mom always make her homemade spaghetti and meatballs or meatloaf.
If you had like someone was coming over and like, man, I have to have my best dish, the one I can always cook, it's gonna impress them. What would it be? Would it be that?
Honestly, I would think my chicken francais.
From your taste, not someone else's, but your taste, what do you think is the best home cooked meal in your house?
Mm. I really like my mom's. I would have to say the spaghetti and meatballs.
It's a go-to. It's definitely a go-to. When you think about, you just got your license, so we'll ask if you could have any car in the world, like money wasn't an option, you could just go get your dream car. What would it be?
A Tesla. They're so cool.
Do you have a favorite color for cars? Was there a color that you'd want it to be?
I like wet or black. It doesn't matter to me.
You're
I like
driving, you got the music on. What kind of songs are you listening to on a nice drive?
I like listening like to Drake or 21 Savage. Um, I like R&B a lot.
Now, does driving songs, is that the same as the pregame songs that get you hyped up, or does
Yes,
that
sir.
playlist change
I am all the time.
all the time? What if we took you to karaoke night? What would be like your go-to karaoke song?
Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus.
A lot of people say that one. Your teammates there, who would be the teammate that would be the first on the stage to get up and grab the mic and sing a karaoke song?
Alyssa Masucci, but
What song do you think she'd pick? Like, what's her what does she sing all the time?
Shine Bright Like a Diamond.
There
Or
it
like something
is.
from Morgan as well.
Um, when you think of teammates and who you trust the most to kind of be that getaway driver if you need one, who do you trust the most?
Kayla Campbell.
Who's the teammate that you think is most likely to need a getaway driver?
Alyssa.
Who's the player that takes things like the most seriously, hard to crack, hard to make laugh?
I would say Jade.
What about the opposite? Who's like the easiest going and the easiest to make laugh and to make smile?
Zoe King.
When you think about your teammates, who has the most style? Who has the most swag on the team?
Zoe King. With her.
Um, who has like doesn't have swag but thinks they do and acts like they do?
Let's say Alyssa.
Who's the best dancer?
Callie.
And when you think about yourself, what category would you put you're in? Like if you had one thing on the field that you're the best at on the team, what's one thing that you think you would fit into?
Can you say that again?
If you had one thing that you think you're the best at, because I've been asking like who's the best dancer, who's got the best style. If you had one thing that you had to put yourself in, like I'm the best this on the team, what do you think it'd be?
Best music taste.
Yeah, there it is. Brooke, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout your career and the people that have your back.
Thank you to my pitching coach at Beavers, my hitting coach, Dave Flickinger, my high school and travel coaches and teammates, my family and friends.
Brooke, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We loved having you on. We will continue to cover you throughout your career. We wish you the best of luck going forward, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you for having me.